Long live the king.
Welcome back to the channel, folks. Mr. H here for a Godzilla King of the Monsters deep dive. And full spoilers ahead. Full spoilers ahead. Now, I held off watching this. This is, of course, the 5-minute IMAX trailer. I held off watching this for a really, really long time, but temptation has got the better of me and I have watched it. You can find this online. I'm not going to lie, you can find this online. So if you don't want to just hear my description and my review of it, bugger off, go find it somewhere. I think Warner Bros. Has been pretty hot on this. They are taking it down, but in what I'm about to do with this video, I'm not going to show any footage. I'm just going to talk through it and discuss it, overlaid with some images and some other previous trailer footage. So they can't really take this video down. So if by any chance you're watching this before the release and you can't find the trailer, then that's probably why, because they've took it all down. But hey, you can get the description from me. Now, there are full spoilers, so just, bear that in mind as we go into this. It opens with just destruction after destruction after destruction, and a voiceover saying, and I quote, "Every continent on this planet is getting hit by creatures we don't even have names for yet. Their behavior has become erratic, and we're running out of options and time." And whilst this all happens, we see a few clips which, we can kind of piece together. Some of it's in Mexico. Some of it is places which I really, in fairness, don't actually know where it is. But then we build to the Antarctic base. And we're seeing the eco-terrorists with Vera Farmiga's character lining up what looks like charges to release King Ghidorah. Now, in terms of who is doing the voiceover, I actually don't know. It's interesting because, to me, I've just watched Pet Sematary, so it almost sounds a bit like John Lithgow. It's definitely not, but it does sound a bit like him. But hey, for anyone that's seen this and you know who's doing that voiceover, let me know, because I genuinely have no idea who's doing that voiceover at the opening to this 5-minute trailer. But one thing to note is just the sheer scale and devastation, the absolute panic you can see in people's faces whilst we're cutting to, obviously, creatures committing all of these various erratic behaviours and obviously killing people in the process. There's an emotional tension there. You can see people's lives just being utterly destroyed. It's interesting because in one of the most recent trailers we saw Vera Farmiga's character shout "run" to someone as she's holding like a device. This is all but confirmed now. She says "run" as she releases King Ghidorah. And that's what we see as part of this footage. They're setting up these charges all along the ice where King Ghidorah is. Not overly sure why she's saying "run", but her daughter is there. So I would imagine she is saying it to Millie Bobby Brown's character, her daughter. And then it cuts to an entire scene of the film. Now, this scene is King Ghidorah's escape. Not so much escape, but him being set free. And it's confirmed now, it is Vera Farmiga that sets him free with the eco-terrorist. Charles Dance is there. And it's a fantastic scene. Because they've obviously built a structure around King Ghidorah, you can see all of the various scaffolding and platforms just falling away. And again, it's that sense of scale, which was done so well by Gareth Edwards in the original 2014 Godzilla, that's being carried over to this movie. And it really is beautiful. The effects are superb in this scene. But the scene progresses at quite a rapid rate. There's obviously a big escape sequence. We can see a lot of the humans running. They're running for various helicopters. There's bits of Monarch there as well. So whether the eco-terrorists stormed the Antarctic base or Monarch got there late, we don't know. You can't really tell from this scene. But that's kind of how it plays out. And as we shoot over to one of the helicopters, Vera Farmiga is on one of the helicopters and she messes around with the Orca. This is that device which is said to communicate with the Titans, the Kaiju. With respect to that, you can 100% put it to bed now that it is absolutely 100% not anything to do with telepathy or anything along those lines. It's quite literally it just emits a signal. Not overly sure the science behind it. Obviously, maybe we'll learn that in the film, whether there's specific signals for various kaiju. But yeah, she's still wearing her Monarch gear, so Vera Farmiga is definitely a former Monarch agent or scientist. But yeah, she messes with the Orca, and in doing so, King Ghidorah rises. And it's this fantastic scene. The scene is really, really great. Again, sense of scale is there. We first see his tails come up, and then his heads. And the effects work on the heads of King Ghidorah is fantastic. It really is superb. And as Vera Farmiga is obviously taking off in this helicopter and the ice is cracking on the ground, we can see a mass stampede of people running from, the ground shattering underneath them. Some people get sucked down, some people manage to escape, and then it becomes this almost standoff. King Ghidorah rises, and you can definitely see, the humans know they fudged up here. They know that they are well aware something bad has happened right now. But it is a great scene. And one thing I did notice, but it may be just to do with the quality of the trailer which I watched, King Ghidorah's gravity beams almost vaporize people. And again, correct me if you've seen it and that's not what you saw, but from what I could see, when he shoots out his gravity beams, his energy attack, it quite literally vaporizes the ground and it vaporizes the people that those beams touch. But again, I could be wrong, but it's what I saw anyway. And I don't know what rating this movie has yet, but you do see King Ghidorah just chomp down on a dude's head within a helicopter. So I'd imagine they're aiming for a good PG-13 rating with this film, which is, to me, that's promising. I have high hopes for the film if they're definitely shooting for a PG-13 rating. It's what it looks like to me anyway. There's plenty of death and destruction in this film, so if they're not going for a PG-13 rating, I'll be very, very surprised. So obviously King Ghidorah has broke free. He is, tearing crap up. He's vaporizing people. He's chomping down on dudes' heads. And then we see this blue light coming through the ice. In fact, actually, it comes up on a sonar first. Who is it? None other than Big G-Man, King G, Godzilla. The G-Man comes to face off against King Ghidorah. And interestingly, actually, one thing that's really, really important to note here is, from what I could see, as he rises up out of the ice, we get some shots of his dorsal plates. They actually look like the adjusted dorsal plates. So whether they've given him his kind of evolution prior to this or not, it's really difficult to say. But I was under the impression that he would get power-ups. That doesn't really look so much like a power-up to me. It looks like he's kind of gone into it already with those dorsal plates there. But one thing that is interesting as Godzilla approaches is that King Ghidorah recognizes something is approaching. And I found this really, really interesting whilst watching the footage. That they kind of recognize the presence of one another. Again, maybe alluding to an old rivalry of some sort. But yeah, I thought that was interesting, so I wanted to point that out. But yeah, the light as it comes through the ice, again, really, really spectacular effects. It's a really cinematic movie from what we could see from this one in particular scene. And that's where that whole feature scene ends, and then we go into a montage. The montage is really, really interesting because there's, again, a bit of a voiceover, or a discussion anyway, where they're discussing they're moving like a pack. I believe that alludes to King Ghidorah and Rodin moving like a pack. Maybe Mothra as well, I don't know. I'd be very surprised if Mothra is involved in that, but or maybe they're alluding to Godzilla and Mothra, but they do make mention of Titans working together as a pack. There is one thing which I've noticed, and I've started to notice it in a lot of the trailers, and I don't know why I never picked this up before, but it's in this 5-minute footage as well. Millie Bobby Brown looks at a photograph of her, Vera Farmiga, and Kyle Chandler's character, obviously their family. There is another person there, obviously another child, I would imagine, Millie Bobby Brown's brother or sister. I don't know why I never noticed this in the first trailer. It's there in the first trailer. I believe this may be the reason why there's a split in the family. Maybe Godzilla and the Mutos killed the you know, other offspring of Vera Farmiga and Kyle Chandler's character, because they are husband and wife, but they're almost on opposing sides and opposing thought patterns. So there's just a quick bit of speculation for you there, but again, you can go see it. It's in the first trailer. There's definitely a photograph of, you know, a further family member, which is not there in this film or has not been shown in any trailers. And there's a great shot as well of Rodin chasing down the fighter pilots. One of them obviously goes to eject because he knows Rodin's on his tail. And as he ejects, Rodin just chomps him up. Just eats him. Straight, whole, gone. Bye-bye. And again, I just love the fact that they're playing to the fact that they can actually show this stuff now in great detail. It's a fantastic part of the montage. And then, again, part of this montage, we see Rodin and Mothra fighting, along with King Ghidorah. I believe I spotted him in the background. So again, kind of confirm that Rodin will face off against Mothra. And then we see this fire Godzilla that we're supposed to get. He's just on fire. That's all I could see. But again, great montage, great 5-minute trailer. It all works really, really well. And it's interconnected with the whole, you know, one king to rule them all kind of business there of the, you know, which we've seen already in these Godzilla trailers. And that's basically where it ends. It just ends with, you know, Godzilla roaring. It's just a fantastic 5-minute piece of footage. I'm a bit of a, you know, a bit of a shame that I spoiled myself on this, but again, I followed this movie extensively. I was going to hold off, but hey, you know, I ruined it for myself. It is what it is. If you've seen it, what did you think? What did you think? And if you haven't seen it, but you didn't care about the spoilers and you've watched this, how do you think this sounds? What do you think about Vera Farmiga's character, the twists and the turns, working for Monarch, then not releasing King Ghidorah? All of this kind of bizzo. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. As always, guys, if you are new here, hit subscribe. And to stay up to date on the world of pop culture and movie news, crush that bell notification icon. Thank you so much for watching. As always, guys, I've been Mr. H. Take care.